Hey everyone, it's Doyle here, a blockchain developer at Loki and the creator of last year's Loki Christmas puzzle. Since it's finally been solved, I thought I'd walk you through how to crack the puzzle. It starts on the Loki homepage. You find it either as a secret link that slowly appears over 15 minutes, or the more eager solvers might have noticed the secret link in the website source code. This link takes you to a web page with a QR code on a black background. You can't actually scan QR codes on a black background, so you need to invert the background so that it's white. When you do this, it actually reveals some secret text which is needed for the next step. Scanning the QR code takes you to the Loki Santa bot on Discord. You want to enter the secret text from before, and Santa will ask you to help him find 4 nonsensical sentences that he's left on the Loki ecosystem. They're hidden on the Loki website, the GitHub, blog, and YouTube channel. SantaBot was actually developed by Maxim, our community moderator, and his role was to give some interactivity in the puzzle and help create a narrative. In this case, Santa DMs you with an image when you reply with the correct phrases. Once you've found all 4 phrases, you have to put them in the correct order to make a coherent paragraph. Then he sends you a link. This is where the puzzle splits off into 2. If you decide to decode the images, it takes you down one path, but if you decide to follow the link, it takes you down another. Here the obvious path is to follow the link, which is to a SoundCloud page. Listen to the audio and you'll hear there's a different sound coming from the left and right channel. On one, there's an eerie sound which is actually human speech slowed right down. On the other is a text-to-speech robot hinting about the next clue, the MIDI file format specification, in a very abstract way. When the speech channel is sped up, you'll hear Josh, our marketing lead, reciting a URL, which takes you to Pastebin. And in Pastebin, there's a sequence of hexadecimal characters. The key part here is that the first 4 bytes, when decoded, are MTHD. Typically, file formats place headers at the front of the byte stream, but if you missed that, the MIDI text-to-speech hint would have been the other way to realize this. Furthermore, the page is labeled Dimmy's Diary, which is just MIDI rearranged as another clue. But once you figured the Pastebin represents a MIDI file, you've got to convert it into a binary file to generate the MIDI file. If you play the MIDI file, you just hear a random tune. The real secret here is if you chuck it into software that visualizes the notes, it paints a very crude picture of the GitHub logo with my GitHub username and a series of hex characters. These hex characters identify a certain commit on my GitHub repository under Loki. When you do eventually find that page and go inside that commit, there's a message with the next clue. It's a login to Dimmy's server, but you still don't have the password. This is where most people got stumped and returned to investigate Dimmy's diary. Instead, to get the password, you have to go back to where the puzzle split off into 2. All the way back to the SantaBot and carefully inspect what he says. Santa mentions leaving presents on the blockchain. The answer to where on the blockchain is in the images Santa DMs you. They seemingly look the same, but actually each have subtle differences which form a hidden sequence. This sequence is an increasing number of snowflakes. Once you've got the correct sequence of images, you have to look at the file names for each picture in the sequence, and write out the full file name that you get by combining all of them in sequence. This gives you the next clue, which is a 64-character transaction hash that you need to put into the blockchain explorer on Loki's mainnet. Make sure you change the hash to all lowercase characters or else it won't respond. Once you enter the hash, it gives you a link to a blank web page with some raw text. The text hints at when Loki first started and our blockchain launched. So you have to go back to the very first transactions on the Loki blockchain, and on the 10th block, at the bottom of the transaction, there's a message from Santa claiming it's his final clue and gives you access to 2 view-only wallets. Restore the 2 wallets in the Loki software and you'll find each wallet has a single transaction coming into it. You now have 2 numbers, which are meaningless on their own. What you have to do is Google one of the numbers and you'll find that it's a magic number used in an algorithm, the fast inverse square root function. With the algorithm, by compiling and running it with a C++ implementation on the second transaction amount, it spits out another number, which is actually the password that goes with the login to Dimmy's server from the first branch of the puzzle. Enter the login and password into the server, it accepts it, and gives you a text file which has instructions to tweet the winning phrase. And that's how you solve the Loki 2018 Christmas puzzle. Thanks to everyone that had a go, in particular the puzzle community for expressing interest and enjoyment. I hope everyone's looking forward to the next puzzle that is coming up later this year.